Hi YouTube and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're talking all about some juicy tips to help make your Instagram Reels go viral. No, not really. I can't promise virality, I'm not a magician, but I can give you some advice to help you create Instagram Reels that are as engaging and are as great as they possibly can be to give you the best shot of seeing really great results. Now, I've created a couple of YouTube videos about Instagram Reels so far. The first, if you are feeling still quite unconfident about Reels, you're not really sure how everything works, and you really would like a step-by-step walkthrough of how to create an Instagram Reel from beginning right through to the end, knowing what all the buttons mean, and also if you don't have things like the music function, knowing how to actually create a Reel having music with it, but not using Instagram Reels, using editing software, then definitely check out this video after this one because I go into loads of detail about that in that video. But if you feel confident with Instagram Reels, maybe you've created your first few Reels, or maybe you've just created one, but you want to know what are the juicy top tips to make sure that you are creating every Instagram Reel and making it as good as it possibly can be, then this video is for you. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Bella Foxwell, an Instagram strategist and coach that drops a brand new video to this channel every single week. You don't want to miss that, so make sure you hit the subscribe and bell button. I would love to see you here on a more regular basis. So without further ado, let's jump into juicy tip number one, look to others for inspiration. You don't have to be the most original person on Instagram Reels. In fact, it would be smarter if you had a look at what is already performing well for others, other content creators in your space, other niches and industries that are not related to your own, to see what music is performing well for them, to see what style of reel is doing really well. And the way that you'll find this out is if you just spend a bit of time inside of Instagram Reels, inside the feed, having a little bit of a look, set a timer if you don't want to get completely sucked in and look up and see that an hour has gone by, but spend a bit of time inside the Reels feed, seeing what's working for other people. These Reels are being featured in the feed for a few reasons, one of which is that Instagram is showing you Reels based on topics that it thinks you enjoy and like and engage with, but it will also be showing you some Reels in there that are featured, that are doing particularly well, that it is pushing to more people. So keep an eye on what those Reels are. Make a note of music you like that you could use for your Reels. If you see a really great educational Reel from someone completely random, but you think, oh, I like the style of that Reel, I like the music they used, I like the way they moved, or I liked the transitions, then you can apply all of these same principles to your own content. This isn't about imitating anyone else, but it is about seeing what's working for other people and applying those principles to your own content. Fun fact, I love to look at the Reels from Dr. Julie Smith. I'm just gonna check that is her name. Yep, Dr. Julie Smith. She's a psychologist. She has nothing to do with Instagram marketing, but I love looking at her Reels for inspiration for my own Reels, and I apply lots of the principles that she uses with her Reels to my own content. Some of the styles that she uses, the music she uses, I have used on my own content. And I'm not copying it because we are in completely different fields, talking about completely different things. But her content performs really, really well. And so I'm being smart by having a look at what's working for her, understanding why it might be working for her, and applying and using those same principles and those same elements of her Reels on my own Reels. So that is a really smart tip number one. Have a look at what is performing well for others in other spaces, in other niches, in other industries. Just have a look at what Reels are doing well and use those as inspiration for your own. Tip number two is to make your Reels as short as possible. Now, at time of record in November 2020, the maximum limit of an Instagram Reel is 30 seconds. And sometimes an Instagram Reel will call for that length because you're sharing an educational Reel, or maybe there's just so much information in your Reel that actually you need a slightly longer length of time. But if you can pack value into, let's say, a 5 or 7 second Reel, then what is going to happen is people are going to want to rewatch it, maybe once, maybe a couple of times, to catch what it was you said or what the text was in the Reel. They're going to want to rewatch it a few times to make sure that they did understand and get everything it was that you were saying in that Reel. And the benefit of that is that every single time somebody rewatches a Reel, that counts as another view for you. So that is the great thing about keeping them short and sweet. It's going to encourage rewatches, and every single rewatch counts as a view. Tip number 3, make sure your reel has a juicy hook, a juicy beginning. This is the same for any kind of video content you ever share. It's the same for YouTube content. It's the same for Instagram Lives or IGTVs, but you want to make that beginning bit of your reel super, super juicy. So how do you do that? Well, you could start by having a crazy facial expression, or you could start by opening the reel with a controversial statement or a question. Or you could make sure that you have a transition early on in your reel in the first couple of seconds. So when I say transition, I mean an outfit change or a scene change or a prop being introduced into the reel. You want to make sure that happens early on. The reason you want to have a juicy opening is because you want to keep people hooked. If it takes time for your reel to get going, people are going to swipe away. They're not going to stay watching. People have the attention span of gnats. We know this. The attention span of most people is really, really small. So you want to grab people's attention as soon as you can. And like I said, there's a few different ways you can do this, but just make sure you're hooking them in very, very early on. So tip number 4, which is following on from tip number 3, is to include some transitions. Now, transitions can come in a few different forms. You can have scene changes, you can have outfit changes, you can have props. There's a few ways you can do transitions. You could just be moving around the room and kind of transitioning using effects from clip to clip. But the benefit of transitions, again, it just comes back to keeping people engaged. If you are going to be standing in the same position delivering a reel talking face to camera for 30 seconds, that's unlikely to keep people hooked. Unless you're saying something really, really juicy, people are likely going to swipe away because it's not engaging enough, it's not diverse enough. People want to see changes, they want to see fun transitions. So think about how you can factor those in when you are brainstorming your reel ideas and when you are scripting out what they look like. These transitions don't have to be super complicated. It can be as simple as you filming very similar clips or the same clip, but you in different outfits. But just something that is going to catch the eye and keep people hooked is a really, really important way to keep people watching that reel and rewatching it and to increase the reach of that reel. So tip number 5 is to make sure you are keeping text in the right place on your Instagram reel. Instagram reels are the same size as Instagram stories, 9:16 dimensions. I believe that's correct. I will add the right dimensions on screen if it isn't. But they are the same dimensions as a story. However, most people, when they first watch your Instagram reel, won't be watching it inside the Instagram reel feed. And what that means is they won't be watching it in its full dimensions. Instead, they'll be scrolling down their main feed, and that's when they'll first see your reel. And in the main feed, reels are cut off. They are shown a preview of 4 to 5. And what that means is that if your text is located on your reel at the top or at the bottom, towards the bottom of the reel, it's going to get cut off when people are watching the preview of it. And that means that they may be missing context, they won't fully understand what the reel is about, and again, it's going to hurt your views and your retention rate on that reel. Now, a little hack that I like to use to check that your text is in the right place is if you save your Instagram reel down to your photo gallery with the text added. Now what you do is you open up Instagram and you go to add a normal post, a normal standard image or text graphic to your Instagram main feed. Just as you're about to select what image you want, you can select your Instagram reel and it will show you a preview of that reel in the right dimensions, in the same dimensions as it is going to show that reel on people's main feed. And this is where you can do a quick check to see if the text is in the right place. If it is, fantastic, that reel is good to go. If it isn't, you can go back and edit that reel and move the text around. But that's a handy little hack just to check whether the text is in the right place. So tip number 6 is to create a cover image specifically for your Instagram reel. Now, the reason a cover image is important is because this is what is going to pull through on your Instagram main feed as a little preview when you go to publish your reel and you share it on your main feed. It will show as a little tile, just like every other post on your grid. Now, if you don't make a cover image specifically for your reel, then what will happen is Instagram will select one for you. It will pull a screenshot from somewhere in your Instagram reel, usually from the beginning. And sometimes this is okay because your face is located in the right place, the text is in the right place, and everything looks okay. But more often than not, this isn't the best cover image that it could be. And you have to bear in mind that when you go to publish that reel and you share it to your feed, this cover image that Instagram has selected, that little preview of it, the middle section of that cover image, is what is going to preview on your grid. So rather than leaving it up to chance and publishing a reel that actually looks messy on your grid and doesn't give people an idea of what that piece of content is and therefore means they may not be so likely to click on it, why not make a cover image yourself specifically for this reel? That way you're in control of what it looks like. You can make sure that it fits with your overall brand aesthetic. Now again, a bit like making sure that the text is in the right place on your actual Instagram reel, you want to make sure that with your cover image, if there is any text on it, make sure that the text is located in the middle center of that cover image. Because again, when that Instagram reel is shared to your grid, you want to make sure that none of the text is cut off. So just a good rule of thumb is to keep that text in the center middle section of your Instagram cover image. So the next tip is to make sure you're drafting compelling captions and you're using hashtags. Now, while you don't have to write really lengthy captions with every Instagram reel, I still think it's a great opportunity for you to provide a bit more value to your community, and bearing in mind that if anybody sees this reel inside the Reels feed or their Explore page and they're not following you, you have the caption as another opportunity to give them a reason to hit follow. Because you are elaborating on that reel, you're sharing more value, whether that's more of your personality or more of your expertise, and you can include a call to action, whether that is asking people to comment below and continue the engagement on your post, whether that is getting people to hit save, whether that is getting people to check out the link in your bio, if you have a really juicy link in there, a really juicy offer. But it's a really great opportunity to continue engagement on your reel. And when it comes to hashtags, I recommend getting into the habit now of curating hashtags for your reels. It's true that at time of record, hashtags aren't necessary for you to do really well with Instagram Reels. Instagram is putting so much weight behind Reels that even if you don't include hashtags, you're still likely to experience really good reach and engagement. But it won't be long before hashtags are necessary, because there is so much content on Instagram, so much Instagram Reels content, that the hashtags will be necessary to categorize this content and make sure the right reels are served to the right people. So get into the swing of doing that now. Make sure, as with any hashtag strategy, you are using niche, less popular hashtags with your Instagram Reels, and use up to 30. You have the ability to do so, so why not? Tip number 8 is to keep a track of your high-performing Instagram Reels. Now, even if you look at those numbers and you think, oh, I'm not doing as well as I thought I was going to be doing on Reels, still make a note of the Reels that are doing better than others for you. The reason being is that you can start to spot trends. Are people responding better to your educational Reels, or are they responding better to your personal, more funny, humorous Reels? Whatever it is, keep a track of what seems to be doing better, or what style of reel seems to be doing better. Are the reels where you're talking face to camera, are they doing better than the reels that have music with them? Whatever it is, make a note and continue to do more of what's working. Tip number 9 is to batch create your Instagram Reels. Now, I created an entire video all about the step-by-step process I used that I would love for you to go and check out, and you can see how you can make this process your own. But it really, really is hugely beneficial. It makes creating Instagram Reels so much more efficient and less overwhelming. And once you get into a good rhythm with it, it means that you will be able to brainstorm, create, and publish Instagram Reels with ease and so much more quickly. So I really recommend checking that video out after this one. And once you get familiar with actually creating Reels, start getting into the habit of batch creating them. My final tip is just to make sure that when you are hitting share on your Instagram Reels, that you are sharing them to your main feed. Make sure that when you are at this stage, you're about to hit share, that the little toggle on the screen is toggled blue, toggled on to sharing that reel to your grid and to your main feed. If it's not on, this is a wasted opportunity. It means that lots of your existing community, lots of your followers won't see that reel, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be sharing this to your main feed. Reels are really great content. They're a really great opportunity to show off your personality to your community and the other sides of your brand that maybe you're just not able to express so well through static imagery or other kinds of content. So definitely share it to your main feed. And once you've shared it to your main feed, then you can share it to your Instagram stories. That's all for this week's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you made a note of these top 10 Instagram Reels tips to help you create Instagram Reels that are much more engaging, and you never know, they might make you go viral. And if they do, you must let me know, because I am putting that credit below this video. Just before you go, don't forget to check out this video here, which is all about how to create an Instagram Reel step by step from start to finish. And this video up here, which is about how to batch create your Instagram Reels. I will see you next week for a brand new video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.